behind the cape.
Now, this is going to turn into us talking about Kevin Hart, but
It should, because that's how I have it listed here.
You know we're in crazy times when the white woman is the only one that can find reason in the room about George Floyd jokes. So Nikki Glaser was asked about the Kevin Hart roast, where she told that she was happy that she watched it and didn't go because of all the racist jokes in the set, right? And so simultaneously revealing that she got an invite and turned it down for whatever reason. But it's like, you gonna let Nikki Glaser be the voice of reason while you on Breakfast Club throwing your hands up talking about it's comedy, it's a roast, I can't do this, I can't. I can't control a comedian's mouth. I don't control the jokes. I don't control. Fam, who's production, fam? Who's production? Who's production? This not Heartbeat? Heartbeat didn't put this together? This not Heartbeat? He was even doing that about his own fucking company. I don't do that, and I don't fire people. What do you do? You don't write the jokes, you don't screen them. You don't invite the comics, you don't fire people at your job. You're not plugged into the comings and goings, so you can't even speak about controversies that are happening in your office. So what do you do? So you one of them CEOs. You one of them people that lord around, not really knowing what's going the fuck on.
I sign the checks and I go home.
And the only time that you want to be bothered is if something is going on that they physically or actually empirically cannot do. Other than that, you don't even want to know. So that you can have the deniability to go up there and be like, me no papi, I don't know, me no know. What do you want me for me? I am only $1 million comedian with a multi-billion-dollar company. What do you want me to do? Ain't nothing to blame. Ain't nothing on you. I didn't like the Breakfast Club interview, man. It felt very, I don't owe y'all shit. Yeah. And you know what? You're right. And we don't owe you shit either. And maybe you should depend more on all of those white fans that you seem to be placating to with this comedy is okay for us to say anything nonsense. Because here's the thing. For every your dad left to go get some milk joke, for every lynching joke, for every black men don't take care of their children joke, there are 20 Holocaust jokes that will never get through. There are 20 Israeli jokes that'll never get through.
There's 20 Kevin Hart is short and cheating jokes.
Right, there's 20 Kevin Hart is a short cheater with bad business practices jokes. There's one Tony Hinchcliffe is gay jokes. See, what always amazes me is what people do and don't show their discernment on. I'm a comedian, let everything go until you bring up the worst part of my marital experience. I'm an open book. We can tell jokes and go pedal to the metal. Just don't say anything to me about being a business owner.
Especially while my business is currently crumbling.
And I don't believe that the writers were the ones that was like, yeah, all of the jokes we gonna cut are basically gonna be about Kevin and Tony. It's not a mistake. Let me guess, they don't work for you either. Oh, you don't control the writer. You don't even hire the writers. You know, I ain't never even seen a writer. I can't even spell writer. Miss me with that shit, man. Now you running around here looking goofy with the motherfucking Black Panda mask on your eyes, and Nikki Glaser sounds like the voice of reason. Congratulations.
For what?
Congratulations.
Like, how does that benefit you in any way?
It benefits him because the circles that he cares about being in, that's what they want to hear. They want to be able to humiliate you. They want to be able to joke about a flashpoint moment.
That's to your detriment.
Not to him. He don't. It's only to his detriment if he identifies here. And he don't identify here. That's what he's been telling us all week. He identifies with the comedians. He identifies with wealthy business owners. He does not identify with us.
That's fair.
He don't identify with this no more. This is not enough.
But who
This
got you where you are now?
It don't matter to him. He don't feel like he owe you nothing.
No, that's facts. Because we've seen this time and time again from multiple celebrities.
He has been saying this shit almost explicitly. It's not my fault, nor do I owe it to you to do or say anything. So take him at that. Take him at his word. Treat him like he's a motherfucker who's unplugged and doesn't owe the community anything. Mm-hmm. We gotta get more comfortable with ostracizing.
No facts.
Like I like I like that there's been a gradual kind of acceleration out of docileness into outrage. Turn outrage into ostracization. Stop letting these people into your circle. Stop talking to them. Stop fucking with them. It makes me sick every time I see one of you niggas talking to Tiffany Haddish or Ari Spears. I swear to God, I want to throw the fuck up.
Well, to be fair, the person talking to Ari Spears is fucking Vlad.
Well,
that's the man keeping Ari Spears.
That ain't who I'm talking about
currently.
I ain't talking about Ari
Just
Spears.
saying.
I'm talking about the Waynes who making jokes about him. You won't. Need. Hey, hit him.
Yeah.
Hit him where it counts. I don't want to hear nothing about him being fat or ugly. Hit him where it counts. Remind people that he's a kitty toucher, and so is she.
Facts.
Niggas make me sick. Stop. You don't have to accept these people into the circle no more. Because they will just as soon as write your ass off for $1. So let them go make their money elsewhere.
Having rules for comedy is as corny and ridiculous as having rules for rap beef.
Yeah, but you say that, but we know that there are jokes that you just would not tell, or subject matters that you wouldn't touch on or make a joke about.
Especially about other people.
How can the joke be tasteless, but still be allowed? So tasteless jokes is what roasts are built on? So tact is not part of the comedic process at all anymore?
I would feel like being a comedian with tact and being able to make funny jokes, avoiding this shit is probably even better. It makes you a better comedian. It makes you more creative.
And again, it's not jokes. It's not jokes that we're trying to police or critiquing. It's not jokes. It's one joke that everybody knew was going to be in there and everyone knew was going to be a flashpoint. So at that point, we're all making the decision to make a tasteless joke just for the sake of being able to make it. Not that it's going to make the show better. Not that people are going to laugh, which is the entire point of a comedy show. But just for the sake that we are able to do it is why we're going to tell the joke.
So were y'all upset at the Charlie Kirk jokes? Who's platforming the Charlie Kirk joke the way that Kevin Hart allowed that joke to be platformed? Are you going to say Drewski? Like, that was on a Netflix stand-up show where he admitted jokes that were aimed directly at him, but let the George Floyd joke fly.
If the requirement for any like basic human decency is just not to make jokes about people dying, then I'll throw out the Charlie Kirk joke. What I'm uncomfortable with is hearing people be like, okay, on one hand, yeah, no, maybe we shouldn't have made a joke about, where the punchline is there's a dead black man. Oh, but what about Charlie Kirk? So like, was that burning in your spirit? Like, did that have your feels all in a knot when you heard them talking about Charlie Kirk? Is that why the whataboutism applies? Like, I don't understand. So the reason why the the George Floyd joke feels a way is because this was a roast for a black man in a black man's production, right? And so the last place we supposed to be hearing people make a dead black man the butt of a joke is at your shit. Especially your black ass was sitting in a memorial. So again, there's a lot of connection there that makes that particular joke the topic of discussion. But if it's so like distasteful to you that one of them jokes could get off and not the other, and none of the context around it matters, then fine. Delete the Charlie Kirk joke too. But why is that a shield? Like, do you feel like the Charlie Kirk joke was good or not? Do you feel like that one was tasteless as well, or were they both cool? Like, I don't see the reason in even putting the Charlie Kirk shit up, because this wasn't no Tom Brady roast. This wasn't the roast of Shane Gillis. This wasn't Tony Hinchcliffe's roast. This wasn't the roast of Erica Kirk. What the fuck do Charlie Kirk got to do with Kevin Hart? I just explained to you what George Floyd got to do with Kevin Hart.
I was about to say, he's talking about joke policing. Literally, fuck Tony Hinchcliffe. We're not talking about Tony Hinchcliffe. This is aimed at fucking Kevin Hart for allowing this shit to go.
This is a rare opportunity where the show is ours. This is one of those rare opportunities where the show is ours. So why are we using that opportunity to take one of the worst Flashpoint moments that we've had in the last 10 years and make light of it?
Especially when you let some of those other jokes about you being short, about you being a bad businessman, you took those out.
Here's what it boils down to for me. If people in positions like Kevin Hart is in, on a show that's meant to celebrate him, if a person in that position can't throw their weight around to make sure that we're not disrespected as a community, where will it happen? Where will it ever happen? Where will it ever happen? Do you think that if they were roasting one of Charlie Kirk's friends, somebody that was at Charlie Kirk's funeral, that they would have allowed that Charlie Kirk joke to go through? That's why that description is so important that you threw out. Do you think that if it was Charlie Kirk's homeboy, if it was fucking, no, I don't think him and Shapiro was cool. Who was he cool with? Who liked Charlie Kirk? give me a figure that liked Charlie Kirk. Yeah, okay, Candace. Do you think if they was roasting Candace Owens, well, no, that's a black woman.
Right.
Give me a white woman.
That's why I was like, Erica Kirk.
No. Damn it. Megyn Kelly.
Okay.
You think Megyn Kelly gonna allow them to talk about goddamn the Great Canyon, the Grand Canyon size hole that they put in Charlie Kirk's neck? You think that joke would have got off for Megyn Kelly?
No.
Come on, man. They don't play with other people like that. No. That's the point.
No.
Don't talk to me about a Charlie Kirk joke, because if it was a white production, if they were roasting a white person, that joke would have never got off. They don't play with other people like that. If it was a Jewish comedian sitting up there, how many Israel jokes do you think we would have got off? They don't play with them like that. So, again, if a person as powerful as Kevin Hart can get up there, and we just got to tell a joke where the butt of it is a black man getting his neck sat on for 8 minutes and dying, a modern day lynching, then whenever are we going to be in a space where we can throw our weight around to make sure that shit doesn't happen? So where we're like,
and Marte, I
think this is too comfortable with being like an ass.
Yeah.
Too comfortable with being like dirt on niggas' shoes.
Facts.
Why are we so comfortable with just taking that and calling it comedy? Haven't you ever heard the concept of people laughing with you versus laughing at you?
Marte, I'm gonna leave it at this because you're not about to just fucking monopolize the rest of the show. The difference here is that this was not a joke directed at Kevin Hart, right? This is a roast of Kevin Hart. This was not a joke that was directed at him.
Had nothing to
that
do
could have
with him.
easily been cut from this shit, just like the jokes that were actually directed at him that were cut. I get it that you like to play devil's advocate for a lot of shit, but bro, this is not apples to apples whatsoever. It's just not. It's just not.
I think the point of contention is less that the joke was bad, more that Hart had a multitude of caveats in play for that roast and let the joke fly, made him look crazy. Yeah. There also seems to be a general disconnection from the trauma around that situation. And it's surprising because he was so much in the forefront with his face when it was going on. He was very much so visible with that situation while it was going on. So, like, it would almost make more sense for him to allow them to make a joke about Mike Brown getting shot as opposed to George Floyd, the man whose funeral you helped pay for and whose memorial service you attended. It just that don't jive with me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't particularly like them talking about his dead parents.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so we can say, oh, well, you just don't like comedy. Okay, cool. I guess then maybe that's just a me thing. But like, if I'm the butt of the joke, cool. If someone living is the butt of the joke, also cool. You're invoking somebody who died violently, who was killed.
And can't defend themselves. X-Men 97 Season 2 trailer came out. Plus, it sounds like they're going to try to make it a season every year. They've already got Season 4 in development already.
Let me ask you something. How bare bones do you think that they stripped Season 2 of X-Men 97?
I mean, well, being that it doesn't have any of Bo DeMile's vision.
But you know, we'll see. I think that remains to be seen. That be seen.
Fair.
We'll see how much they actually took out of it. It was a lot made about them stripping down Season 2 and taking, you know, obviously they took his writer's credit after he had his back and forth, but
also they're trying to set up the mutant saga. So whatever they put in X-Men 97, I think would probably try to...
I don't know, man. I don't think this is going to have anything to do with what they do in the... Because right away, you see... X-Men 97, of course, we've got traditional grown-ass Jean, and that's not where they're going.
Okay.
They got Sadie Sink. So
sense.
Maybe some elements will be carried over from the television show, but I think this is just have something reoccurring on Disney Plus that people actually like.
I was going to say, so do you think that's a negative or a positive?
It depends on how Season 2 and 3 go. Like, the fact that they're already working on 4 tells me that they're confident in it, but my track record of having projects that I like where the main creator leaves is not very high on me sticking around. From Boondocks to Rick and Morty, the list goes on. If you lose the guy with the vision or the guy or the girl with the vision, it usually doesn't lead to the same show being made.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much I can trust Brad Winterbaum to...
You don't really fuck with Brad Winterbaum, so...
I don't fuck with his product that he's been making lately. But I don't know how much I trust him to be as faithful to comic book stories as Bo DeMille was. I see that he's obviously inspired. I know that they're going to draw things from the comics just from watching the trailers. Season 1 of X-Men 97, you know, outside of all of the flamboyant stuff, the Magneto and the Speedo shit, and Morph and Wolverine, most of that stuff was pulled directly out of the 97 show, which is a 1-to-1 to comics. Right? And so that feeling, that type of tenor in a television show doesn't happen by mistake. It has to be a concerted effort. If Winterbaum really is a Feige acolyte, like he's Feige's protege, that's not very high on the list. Again, we know what their track record is with hiring comic book fans. So like, I don't know, man. It's good that they're already that far down the development pipe, but that it's also easy to see based off of their output on Disney Plus. Like, it's not hard to think that they would queue up another couple seasons of X-Men 97 because it's one of the hottest things that they got going on.
I left X-Men 97 with positive thoughts, despite some of the problems that we had with it, with like Storm and shit like that. But I definitely had positive thoughts about it. Will that carry on? I don't know, because literally everything you do as far as X-Men and the mutants, I'm gonna look at and be like, is this the best you could do? Me personally, like, I actually kind of fucked with the Fox X-Men shit that they had going on for a little while. They started wilding after a little bit, but Like when the first movie started coming out, I was fucking with that heavy. So like anything they do, it's got to be almost perfect for me to really fuck with it. But I guess that's just me. My concern is Matthew Chauncey does for X-97 what he did for What If, and it's just empty spectacle, all lights and powers and hollow narrative. The trailer looked good, but that won't be enough.
You feel me? Like it's kind of easy to do when, again, most of this was already shot. Most of this was already done, and they're reworking the narrative to erase Bo's impact, it seems like. And so, in doing that, did you intrinsically affect the show? Right? In trying to erase someone else's influence or impact on the show, did you erase the show and create something altogether different?